How do I reset the Windows XP administrator password? I have forgotten the administrator password of my Windows XP installation and logged out. Is there a way to reset it? I do have physical access to the PC.
You can use offline NT password and registry editor to reset it. You also can use offcrack.
How to reset the Windows XP administrator password? Follow these steps. Boot from Windows Pay or Windows Recovery environment, or use any Linux/USB, any Windows installation disk, anything bootable that can see ntfs/FAT32/ and run the command prompt. Find the drive letter of the partition where Windows is installed. It is usually C: Vista and XP. It could be D: under Windows 7 because the first partition contains Startup Repair and will be assigned with C:. To find the drive letter, type C: or D: and search for the Windows folder. Note that Windows Pay usually resides on drive letter X. Create a backup copy of ceph.x with this command for later restoration. Replace C: with your correct drive letter if needed. Replace ceph.x with cmd.x. Reboot your computer and start the Windows installation where you forgot the administrator password. After you see the login screen, press Shift 5 times or press on Accessibility. Now it will open a command prompt. Enter the following command to reset the Windows password. If you don't know your username, just type netuser to list all available usernames. You can now log on with the new password. Now you have privileges of user system and you can do whatever you want with your current system. Be careful. Advantages. It works with all Windows versions you can find nowadays from Windows XP to 8.1, x86 or x64, and probably it will work on earlier and newer versions too. No need to prepare anything. You can do this with any bootable media which is in your hands at that moment. Started from MS-DOS bootable disks and Windows installation disks to Linux/USB/ and others. Many other programs that change password from registry are usable, but if something goes wrong, they can damage the OS. This method is safe and can't damage anything. Finally, it's free. Note, if it's MS-DOS bootable media, make sure it has NTFS driver, NTFS 4DOS/Paragon NTFS or something like it. Note, it works when accessibility options are enabled, 5x shift, sticky keys, and it's enabled by default. And how to prevent this? Disabling accessibility options will partially prevent this. Partially, because it's possible to change another file/settings and achieve the same results. Change BIOS settings and disable booting from other devices and set BIOS password. There are some hacky methods to bypass this restriction, but it's another theme. For more security, you can lock your case, use a real lock, to prevent BIOS reset, especially if it's a very important computer, or if you are paranoid. Smile.
Let me give my 2 cents on this question. I personally would using Conboot. It bypasses all Windows password checking, so you can boot to Windows and change the password. It's like a live CD that boot prior to Windows and tricks it when asked for the password. Great tool for hacking your own box. You can only change the pass, you can't see the old one. From the site. Conboot is a prototype piece of software which allows to change contents of a Linux kernel, and now Windows kernel also, on the fly, while booting. In the current compilation state it allows to log into a Linux system as root user without typing the correct password or to elevate privileges from current user to root. For Windows systems it allows to enter any password protected profile without any knowledge of the password. It was actually started as silly project of mine, which was born from my never-ending memory problems. Secondly, it was mainly created for Ubuntu. Later I have made few add-ons to cover some other Linux distributions. Finally, please consider this is my first Linux project so far. Entire Conboot was written in pure x86 assembly, using old Grandpa Giza Tassim 4.0.
This is very easy to do, but rather than explain it all here, I found 2 articles that show you exactly how to do it. This is the easiest method, but for this you need to have the Windows Setup DVD that came with your computer. If not, go to the second link. This URL. If you don't have the setup DVDs, then follow this link to fix it. This method requires a bit more work though, but is just as effective. This URL.
If you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing.